The alien queen of power thoroughly enjoys human warriors until she sees one in battle. Queen Xerathix stood on the balcony of her palace, looking down at the vast arena below. Her 6 arms moved gracefully as she adjusted her golden crown. The crowd of alien spectators cheered loudly as the warriors fought in the sandy pit. She smiled, showing her sharp teeth. "Another victory for my collection," she said to her advisor. A tall creature with blue skin and for eyes. The Dominion Empire had grown large under her rule. 17 star systems now belonged to her. Each conquered world brought new species to fight in her games. The queen loved to watch different creatures battle each other. "It was her favorite entertainment, my queen," said the advisor. "The transport ships have arrived from the newest conquered world." Xerathix turned her attention to the landing platform outside her palace. Large metal ships were touching down, their engines creating clouds of steam. From each ship came groups of prisoners in chains. But these prisoners looked different from the others she had seen before. They walked onto legs like some species she knew, but they were smaller than most warriors. Their skin was soft and came in different colors. Some had hair on their heads that was brown, black, or yellow. They were simple clothes that looked worn and dirty. "What species are these?" the queen asked. "They call themselves humans, my queen. They come from a planet called Earth. Our forces found them on a colony world." The queen watched as the humans were led toward the prison buildings. Something about them caught her attention. Unlike other species when they were captured, these humans stayed close together. They helped the older ones walk. When one fell down, others stopped to help. "Interesting," she said. They seemed to care for each other. In the weeks that followed, the queen learned more about her new prisoners. The humans were given basic food and shelter like all new rivals. They were tested for strength, speed, and fighting ability. The results were not impressive at first. Humans were not the strongest species in her collection. The Krexstar warriors could lift 10 times more weight. They were not the fastest either. The Velter could run faster than any human. They did not have natural weapons like claws or poison. They seemed ordinary in every way. But the queen noticed something else. The humans worked together in ways other species did not. When the guards gave them tasks, they shared the work. When someone was sick, others took care of them. They even shared their small portions of food with those who needed it more. They have strong bonds. The queen told her advisor as they watched the humans in their holding area. "Look how they protect each other." The advisor nodded. "It is unusual behavior, my queen. Most species think only of themselves when captured." The queen decided to test these humans in the arena. She selected 12 of them for the first match. They would fight against wild beasts from the jungle world of Murdoch. These creatures were known for their speed and sharp claws. The day of the fight came. The arena was filled with thousands of spectators from across the empire. They came to see the new species perform. The queen sat on her throne, excited to see what these humans would do. The 12 humans entered the arena. They looked small compared to the huge space around them. The crowd laughed and made jokes about their size. But the queen noticed something different. The humans were not afraid like most first-time fighters. They were calm and focused. The leader of the group was a woman with short brown hair. She spoke quietly to the others, and they nodded. They formed a circle, standing back to back. When the gates opened and the beasts charged out, the humans moved as one. The queen leaned forward in her throne. She had never seen anything like this. The humans fought together like parts of a machine. When one was in danger, others came to help. They shared weapons and covered each other's backs. They moved with purpose and planning. The beasts were fast and strong, but they fought alone. The humans trapped them using teamwork. They made the beasts come to them instead of chasing them around the arena. When one beast attacked, two humans would distract it while a third struck from behind. "Amazing," the queen whispered. The crowd grew quiet as they watched. This was not the usual wild fighting they expected. This was something else. The humans were winning not through strength or speed, but through working together. When the fight ended, all 12 humans were still alive. The beast lay defeated in the sand. The crowd erupted in cheers. They had never seen such teamwork before. The queen called for the human leader to be brought to her throne. The woman walked forward, her head held high. She had cuts on her arms and dirt on her clothes, but she showed no fear. "What is your name?" the queen asked. "Captain Sarah." "Chen," the woman replied, "Earth Defense Force." "You fight well, Captain Chen. Your people interest me. We do what we must to survive." Chen said simply. The queen smiled. "I think you will be very entertaining. You and your people will have better quarters, better food. I want to see more of this teamwork." Chen nodded but said nothing. The queen could see intelligence in the woman's eyes. This human was thinking, planning, watching everything around her. In the days that followed, the queen gave the humans special treatment. They were moved to better cells with more space. They received more food and clean water. The queen told her guards to treat them well. "They are my new favorites," she announced to her court. "I want to study them more." The queen often visited the human quarters. She watched how they organized themselves. They had leaders and followers. They made plans and shared information. They even sang songs together to keep their spirits up. The other species in the arena began to notice the humans too. Some were jealous of their special treatment. Others were curious about their fighting methods. The humans were becoming famous throughout the empire. But the queen saw them as more than just fighters. They were like an interesting puzzle. She wanted to understand what made them so different. She believed their emotions and connections made them predictable. She thought she could use these bonds to control them. They fight for each other, she told her advisor. This makes them both strong and weak. Strong because they work together. Weak because they can be controlled through their feelings. The advisor agreed. "You are wise, my queen. They are like pets that can be trained." The queen laughed. "Yes, exactly. Clever pets that put on good shows." As the days passed, the queen planned bigger and better fights for her human warriors. She wanted to see how far their teamwork could take them. She had no idea that while she was studying them, the humans were studying her right back. Captain Chen watched everything. She memorized the guard rotations. She noted the palace layout. She counted the security systems. And she waited for the right moment to show the queen what humans could really do when pushed too far. The queen thought she understood humans. She was about to learn how wrong she was. 3 months had passed since the humans first entered the arena. Captain Sarah Chen stood in the improved quarters that Queen Zerthix had given them. The room was larger than their old cell, with soft beds and clean water. But it was still a prison. "Another fight tomorrow," said Marcus, one of her soldiers. He was cleaning a wound on his arm from their last battle. "The queen wants us to face the Turvak gladiators this time." Chen nodded. The Turvak were professional fighters from a warrior planet. They were strong and skilled, but she had watched them fight before. They were individuals, not a team. "We can handle them," she said quietly. "Stay together, watch each other's backs." The other humans in the room looked tired but determined. They had won 12 fights in a row. Each victory made the crowd cheer louder. Each victory made the queen more interested in them. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the team's medic, was treating injured fighters. "The queen sent better medical supplies today," she said. "She wants us healthy for the big fights." Chen walked to the small window that looked out over the arena. Even now, other species were fighting below. The sand was red with blood. The crowd screamed for more violence. This was entertainment for them. "She thinks we're her pets," Chen said to herself. "What did you say, Captain?" asked James, their communications expert. "Nothing important," Chen replied. But it was important every day. The queen learned more about them, but they were learning about her too. The next morning, guards came to escort them to the arena. The humans had developed a routine. They walked in formation, heads high, showing no fear. The other prisoners watched them with respect and envy. In the preparation area under the arena, they were given weapons, simple swords and shields. Just like always, Chen checked each weapon carefully. She had learned to spot the ones that might break during battle. "Remember," she told her team, We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for everyone back home who's counting on us." The team nodded. This was their ritual before every fight. They reminded themselves why they kept going. The arena gates opened, and they walked into the bright sunlight. The crowd roared with excitement. Above them, Queen Xerathix sat on her golden throne, watching eagerly. "My favorite warriors return," the queen announced through the speakers. Today they faced the champions of Turvac Prime. 6 large humanoid creatures entered from the opposite gate. They were covered in thick armor and carried heavy weapons. Each one was twice the size of a human. They moved with confidence, knowing they were stronger and better armed. The queen leaned forward in her throne. This would be interesting. She had been studying the humans for months now. She understood their patterns. They always protected their weakest members. They always fought as a group. They always tried to help each other. Such predictable behavior. She said to her advisor, "They cannot help themselves. Their emotions control them." The fight began. The Turvac warriors charged forward, expecting quick victory. But the humans did something unexpected. Instead of forming their usual defensive circle, they spread out across the arena. Chen had been watching the Turvac fights for weeks. She knew their weakness. They were used to fighting alone against single opponents. They did not know how to handle multiple attackers working together. The humans moved like dancers. When one Turvac chased Marcus to the left, Elena appeared on his right. When another turned to face her, James struck from behind. They were not just fighting as a team, they were fighting as one mind with 12 bodies. The queen watched with growing fascination. "Look at them," she said. "They coordinate without speaking." "How do they do it?" Her advisor studied the battle. "They use small gestures, my queen. A nod here, a glance there. They have developed their own language." But it was more than that. The humans had trained together for years before their capture. They knew each other's thoughts and movements in the arena. This knowledge became a powerful weapon. The Turvac warriors grew frustrated. Every time they thought they had cornered a human, 2 more would appear to help. The humans used the arena itself as a weapon, leading their enemies into traps and ambushes. One by one, the Turvac fell. The humans did not celebrate. They simply regrouped and prepared for the next attack. When the last warrior fell, they stood together in the center of the arena. The crowd went wild. They had never seen such a display of teamwork. The queen clapped her hands, delighted by the performance. "Bring them to me," she commanded. The humans were escorted to the throne room. The queen's palace was filled with treasures from conquered worlds, gold, jewels, and artwork covered every surface. But Chen's eyes were studying something else. "Guard positions, exit routes, security systems, my wonderful warriors," the queen said. Her voice filled with pleasure. "You continue to amaze me. Tell me, Captain Chen, how do you coordinate so perfectly?" Chen stood straight, meeting the queen's gaze. "We trust each other, Your Majesty. We know each person will do their part." "Trust," the queen repeated. Such a simple concept. Yet it makes you so effective. She walked around the humans, examining them like a scientist studying specimens. "You would die for each other, wouldn't you?" "Yes," Chen said without hesitation. The queen smiled. "Fascinating. Other species fight for personal glory or survival. You fight for abstract concepts, honor, loyalty, duty." She laughed softly. "It makes you so manageable." Chen said nothing, but inside she felt anger growing. The queen saw their bonds as weakness. She saw their loyalty as a tool to be used. "I have decided," the queen announced, "to give you even better treatment. You will have private training facilities, better food, more comfortable quarters. In return, you will fight in my grand tournament next month." "What kind of tournament?" Chen asked. "The greatest event in the Empire," the queen replied. "Warriors from across the galaxy will compete. The winners will earn their freedom." Chen's heart jumped. Freedom? That was what they all wanted. But she had learned not to trust the queen's promises. "What must we do?" she asked. "Simply what you do best," the queen said. "Fight as a team. Entertain my guests. Show them the power of human cooperation." The humans were led to their new quarters. The rooms were even better than before. They had training equipment, books, and even communication devices to talk to each other. "She's planning something big," Marcus said when they were alone. "I know," Chen replied. "But this tournament might be our chance." Over the following weeks, they trained harder than ever. The Queen visited them often, watching their exercises and asking questions. She wanted to understand every aspect of their teamwork. "You are like a machine," she told Chen one day, each part working in perfect harmony. "But machines can be programmed, they can be controlled." Chen nodded politely, but she was thinking about something else. The Queen saw them as predictable. She thought she understood them completely. That was her mistake. The humans had been soldiers before their capture. They knew how to hide their true intentions. They knew how to appear cooperative while planning resistance every day. They gathered information about the palace, the guards, and the empire's weaknesses. The Queen thought she was collecting entertaining fighters. She had no idea she was keeping a squad of trained soldiers who were planning their escape. The tournament was coming, and with it, their chance to show the Queen what humans could really do when they stopped holding back. The day of the grand tournament had arrived. The arena was filled with more spectators than Captain Chen had ever seen. Nobles from across the empire sat in decorated boxes, their alien forms glittering with jewelry and fine clothes. The air buzzed with excitement and anticipation. Queen Zerethik sat on her throne, wearing her most magnificent crown. She had invited rulers from dozens of worlds to witness her favorite entertainment. Today, she would show them the fascinating creatures she had discovered. "Welcome, honored guests," the Queen's voice boomed across the arena. "Today you will see the most interesting species in my collection, humans from the planet Earth. Watch how they work together like a single organism." Chen stood with her team in the preparation chamber below the arena. Through the metal grate, she could hear the crowd's eager voices. Her soldiers checked their weapons and armor one final time. "Remember," she said quietly, "we stick to the plan. Show them what they expect to see. Save our real skills for when we need them." Marcus nodded. "The Queen thinks she knows everything about us. Let her keep thinking that." Dr. Vasquez finished treating a small cut on James's hand. "The medical station is in the north corner," she whispered. "If anyone gets seriously hurt, lead them there. I've seen the equipment. It's good." The first matches began. The humans faced various opponents, each fight designed to test different aspects of their teamwork. They fought flying creatures that attacked from above. They battled armored beasts that charged in groups. They faced skilled warriors from different worlds each time. They won using the methods the Queen expected. They formed defensive circles. They protected their wounded teammates. They shared weapons and covered each other's backs. The crowd cheered with delight. "Magnificent," the Queen said to her guests. "See how they communicate without words. Notice how they sacrifice individual glory for group success. They are controlled by their emotions, which makes them both strong and predictable." A tall alien lord with 4 arms laughed. "They are like trained animals." "Your Majesty, very impressive." "Exactly," the Queen replied. "Their loyalty makes them useful. Their compassion makes them manageable." Chen heard every word through the arena's sound system. Each comment made her anger grow stronger, but she kept her face calm and focused. The Queen's arrogance would be her downfall. The matches continued through the afternoon. The humans won fight after fight, but each victory came with a cost. Marcus took a deep cut to his leg. Elena suffered a blow to her shoulder. Several others were bruised and bleeding. "They're wearing us down on purpose," James said during a brief rest period. "Each fight is harder than the last. That's the plan." Chen replied. "She wants us tired for the final match. She wants to see how we handle pressure." The Queen's advisor approached her throne. "My Queen, the final challenger is ready. The Krexstar champion awaits your command." The Queen smiled with anticipation. "Bring him forth. Let us see how my humans handle a real test." The arena gates opened, and the largest warrior Chen had ever seen entered the fighting space. The Krexstar stood over 3 meters tall, covered in natural armor plates. His 4 arms each held a different weapon. His eyes glowed red with battle fury. "This is Verthuk, the Queen announced, champion of the Krekstar homeworld. He has never been defeated in single combat. The crowd fell silent. This was clearly meant to be the humans' greatest challenge. Chen studied their opponent carefully. The Krekstar was powerful, but he moved like someone used to fighting alone. His weapons were heavy, designed for devastating individual strikes. He was everything the humans were not. Same plan as always, she told her team. Use his size against him, stay mobile. Watch for openings. The fight began. Verthik charged forward with incredible speed for such a large creature. His first attack shattered the stone floor where Chen had been standing a moment before. The humans scattered, forcing the champion to choose targets. But every time he focused on one, the others attacked his flanks. Their small weapons could not pierce his armor, but they could distract and confuse him. Classic human tactics, the Queen explained to her guests. They used their numbers to overwhelm single opponents, very effective against most species. For 20 minutes, the battle continued. The humans stayed just out of reach, striking when they could, retreating when they had to. They were fighting exactly as the Queen expected. Then something went wrong. Verthik, growing frustrated with the humans' hit-and-run tactics, grabbed a large stone from the arena floor. Instead of throwing it at the fighters, he hurled it into the crowd of spectators. The stone struck a section where captured prisoners were being held for the Queen's entertainment. Several small alien creatures cried out in pain. One, barely more than a child, was badly injured. Chen saw the wounded prisoner and felt something shift inside her. This was not part of the tournament. This was cruelty for its own sake. Marcus, she said quietly. Left flank, Elena, cover the wounded. James, signal the others. Her team moved without question. But something had changed in their movements. They were no longer fighting defensively. They were hunting. The Queen leaned forward in her throne. What are they doing? This is not their usual pattern. Verthik raised his weapon to strike down Marcus, who seemed to be stumbling. But at the last second, Marcus rolled aside. Elena appeared from behind, driving her blade into a joint in the champion's armor. The Krekstar roared in pain and surprise. This was not the careful, defensive fighting he had faced before. This was something else entirely. Chen moved like a shadow, no longer trying to stay safe. She slipped under Verthik's guard and struck at pressure points she had identified. During their long dance around the arena, each strike was precise, calculated to cause maximum damage. The other humans joined the attack. But they were not the same fighters the Queen had been watching. They moved with deadly efficiency. Their teamwork now focused on a single goal, ending the threat as quickly as possible. Verthik tried to retreat, but the humans had surrounded him. They attacked from all sides, their weapons finding every weak point in his armor. There was no wasted motion, no unnecessary risks. They fought like a machine designed for one purpose. The champion fell to his knees, then collapsed entirely. The arena was silent except for the sound of heavy breathing. The Queen stared at the scene below. Her humans stood over their defeated opponent, but they looked different somehow. The expression on Chen's face was not the tired relief she had shown after previous victories. It was cold satisfaction. How did they do that? One of the alien nobles asked. They fought like completely different warriors. The Queen had no answer. For the first time since capturing the humans, she felt uncertain. What had she just witnessed? Chen looked up at the royal box, her eyes meeting the Queen's gaze. In that moment, Zerthix realized that perhaps she did not understand these creatures as well as she thought. The tournament was over, but something much more dangerous was just beginning. The arena was silent for a long moment after Verthik's defeat. Queen Zerthix stared down at her human warriors, trying to understand what she had just witnessed. The way they had fought in those final moments was unlike anything she had seen before. Guards, she called, escort the humans back to their quarters. They have earned their rest. Captain Chen led her team out of the arena, but she could feel the Queen's eyes following them. Something had changed. The comfortable routine of predictable fights was over. In their quarters, the humans tended to their wounds in silence. Dr. Vasquez worked quickly. but her hands were shaking slightly. We showed too much, Marcus said quietly. The Queen noticed. I know, Chen replied. But we couldn't watch innocent people suffer. Not when we could stop it. James looked up from cleaning his weapon. What do we do now? We prepare, Chen said. She's going to test us again. And next time, she won't underestimate us. The next morning, the Queen summoned Chen to the throne room alone. The captain walked through the palace corridors, noting the increased number of guards. The Queen was taking no chances. Captain Chen, the Queen said as she entered. Please, sit. We need to talk. Chen remained standing. I prefer to stand, Your Majesty. The Queen studied her carefully. You fought differently yesterday. In the final moments against Verthik, you showed skills I had not seen before. We did what was necessary to win, Chen replied simply. No, the Queen said, walking closer. It was more than that. You have been hiding your true abilities from me. Chen met her gaze steadily. We have always fought to the best of our ability. Have you? The Queen's voice carried a dangerous edge. I think you have been playing a game, Captain, showing me only what you wanted me to see. Before Chen could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the palace. Red lights flashed, and the sound of running footsteps echoed in the corridors. What is happening? The Queen demanded. A guard rushed into the throne room. My Queen. There is an uprising in the prison levels. The other gladiators are fighting the guards. The Queen's face showed surprise and anger. How is this possible? They are locked in separate cells. Someone has been organizing them. Your Majesty, they are working together. Chen kept her expression neutral, but inside she felt satisfaction. Her team had been busy during their months of captivity. They had made friends with other prisoners, shared knowledge, and planted the seeds of rebellion. Lock down the palace, the Queen ordered. Deploy all security forces, and bring the rest of the humans here immediately. As the guards left to carry out her orders, the Queen turned back to Chen. You knew this would happen, didn't you? I knew that oppressed people eventually fight back, Chen said. It's basic human nature. Human nature, the Queen repeated. I thought I understood it. I was wrong, wasn't I? The throne room doors burst open. More guards entered, escorting the rest of Chen's team. But behind them came the sound of fighting. Growing closer, the rebels have reached the upper levels, one guard reported. They are led by the Velter prisoners, but they are using human tactics. The Queen's eyes widened. Human tactics? Yes, my Queen. They move in coordinated groups. They use the palace layout against us. They seem to know our defensive positions. Chen allowed herself a small smile. We are teachers as well as fighters, Your Majesty. You planned this, the Queen said, her voice filled with realization. All this time, you have been preparing. We have been surviving, Chen corrected. That's what humans do. The fighting grew louder. Through the throne room windows, they could see smoke rising from other parts of the palace. The rebellion was spreading faster than the Queen's forces could contain it. This ends now, the Queen declared. She activated a communication device, released the cyber wraiths. All of them. Chen felt a chill. The cyber wraiths were the Queen's secret weapon. Artificial beings created for war, they felt no pain and showed no mercy. She had heard whispers about them from other prisoners. You're making a mistake, Chen said. No. The Queen replied. I made a mistake by treating you as pets. I should have seen you for what you really are. And what are we? Chen asked. The Queen's expression had changed completely. Gone was the amused fascination. In its place was cold understanding and growing fear. Predators, she whispered. You are all predators. The throne room shook as explosions echoed through the palace. The rebels had found the weapons storage areas. The Queen's forces were being pushed back on all fronts. Your Majesty, a guard called over the communication system. The cyber wraiths are engaging the rebels, but they are taking heavy casualties. The rebels are using advanced tactics we have never seen before. Chen looked at her team. Marcus nodded slightly. Elena adjusted her position near the medical supplies. James moved closer to the communication console. They were ready, you see, Chen said to the Queen. You studied us for months. You watched us fight. You thought you understood us. But you only saw what we wanted you to see. What do you mean? The queen asked, though her voice suggested she already knew. We are not just fighters. Chen continued. We are soldiers. We are tacticians. We are survivors from a world that has been at war for thousands of years. Every human child learns strategy from games. Every human adult understands conflict. The queen took a step back. You were gathering intelligence. All this time, you were studying us. We were doing our job, Chen said. We learned your weaknesses. We mapped your defenses. We made allies. We prepared for this moment. But you seem so emotional, so driven by feelings. Our emotions make us stronger, not weaker. Chen replied, we fight harder for things we care about. We think clearer when protecting others. We never give up when our people are in danger. The doors to the throne room exploded inward. Rebel fighters poured in, led by some of the aliens that Chen's team had befriended. They moved with military precision, securing the room in seconds. The palace is ours, announced a tall Velter warrior. The queen's forces are surrendering. Throughout the complex, the queen looked around at the organized rebels, then back at Chen. You turned my own arena into a training ground. You used my tournaments to teach other species how to fight. We shared knowledge, Chen said. It's what humans do. We build communities. We help others. We work together toward common goals. I gave you better treatment. I rewarded you. You gave us access, Chen corrected, access to information, access to other prisoners, access to the tools we needed to organize resistance. The queen sank into her throne, finally understanding the full scope of her mistake. You played me perfectly. We did what we had to do, Chen said. You could have treated us as equals. You could have asked for cooperation instead of demanding entertainment. You could have shown respect instead of viewing us as pets. And now, Chen looked around the throne room, at the rebels who had followed human leadership, at the queen who had finally learned what humans were truly capable of, when they stopped holding back. Now we discuss terms, she said, because despite everything, we still believe in giving people a chance to do better. The queen stared at her in amazement. Even in victory, the humans offered mercy. She was beginning to understand that this species was far more dangerous than she had ever imagined, not because they were cruel, but because they were not. The throne room had become a meeting place for rebels from dozens of species. Captain Chen stood before Queen Zerthix, who sat slumped in her golden chair. The crown that had once seemed so magnificent now looked like a heavy burden. The fighting has stopped throughout the palace, reported Marcus as he entered the room. All remaining guards have surrendered. The fleet commanders are requesting instructions. The queen looked up with tired eyes. My fleet, 47 ships in orbit, Chen said. All waiting for orders that will never come from you. You planned this perfectly, the queen said, her voice filled with bitter admiration. Every detail, every possibility. How long have you been preparing? Since the first day we arrived. Chen replied. We knew we would either escape or die trying. Those were our only options. Dr. Vasquez approached with a medical scanner. Your Majesty, you appear to be in shock. Would you like treatment? The queen stared at her. You offer medical help? To your captor. You are no longer a captor, Vasquez said simply. You are just another being who needs help. This seemed to confuse the queen more than anything else that had happened. I did not understand your species. We know, Chen said. That was your biggest mistake. James had taken control of the palace communication systems. His voice echoed. Throughout the complex, attention all beings. The Dominion Empire's control of this system has ended. All prisoners are free to leave or join our alliance. All former guards who surrender will be treated fairly. The queen laughed. But there was no humor in it? Alliance? You think you can hold an empire together with friendship and cooperation? We don't want your empire, Chen said. We want to go home. But we can't leave the other prisoners behind. We can't abandon the species you have oppressed. So what will you do? Chen pulled up a holographic display showing the local star systems. We're going to give every world a choice. They can govern themselves, form alliances with others, or create whatever society they want. Freedom to choose their own path. That will never work, the Queen said. Different species cannot cooperate for long. They will fight each other. They will create chaos. Maybe, Chen agreed. But that's their choice to make. Not yours. Not ours. The Queen studied the humans more carefully. You really mean to let them all go, even after what I did to you? Revenge doesn't solve anything, Chen said. It just creates more problems. We learned that lesson a long time ago on Earth. Over the following hours, representatives from the various captured species gathered in the throne room. The Queen watched as they discussed plans for the future. The humans did not try to control the conversation. Instead, they listened, offered suggestions when asked, and helped translate between species that had trouble communicating. This is fascinating, the Queen said to her former advisor, who had also been captured. They truly do not want to rule. It appears not, my Queen. They seem more interested in helping others organize them. Selves, a Velter representative approached. Chen, Captain, our people wish to return to our homeworld immediately. But our planet was damaged during your conquest. We will need help rebuilding, of course. Chen said, we'll make sure you have the resources and transportation you need. And what do you want in return? The Velter asked suspiciously. Nothing, Chen replied. Just treat other species the way you would want to be treated. The Queen overheard this conversation. You ask for nothing. No tribute, no allegiance. We ask only that they remember this moment, Chen said, when they have power over others. We hope they will choose cooperation over conquest. As the day progressed, more ships arrived in the system. Word of the rebellion was spreading across the galaxy. Some came to offer help. Others came to see if the rumors were true. A few came looking for revenge against the Dominion. My Queen, James reported, we're receiving communications from 17 different worlds. They all want to know what happened here. The Queen looked at Chen. What will you tell them? The truth, Chen said. That the Dominion Empire has fallen. That its former subjects are now free. That anyone who wants peace is welcome to join our alliance. And those who want war, Chen's expression hardened slightly. They will learn the same lesson you did. Humans are very good at war when we have to be. But we prefer peace. A new ship appeared on the scanners. It was larger than the others, heavily armed and moving fast. Warship approaching. Marcus announced, configuration suggests it's from the Krextar homeworld. The Queen straightened in her throne. They are coming for revenge, Verthik was their greatest champion. They will want blood. Then we'll talk to them, Chen said calmly. Talk? The Queen laughed. The Krextar do not talk. They fight. They conquer. They destroy. Everyone talks when they realize fighting will cost them. Everything, Chen replied. The Krextar ship took position above the palace and began demanding the surrender of the humans, who had defeated their champion. Their message was broadcast throughout the system. Submit or be destroyed. Chen activated the communication system. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. I'm willing to meet with your representatives to discuss any grievances. The response was immediate and hostile. The Krextar commander declared that humans would pay for their insult to Krextar honor. Your Majesty, Chen said to the Queen, you understand their culture. What do they really want? The Queen considered the question carefully. Respect, she said finally. Verthik's defeat brought shame to their people. They need to restore their honor. Then let's give them a way to do that without more fighting. Chen sent another message to the Krextar ship, Commander. Verthik fought with great skill and honor. His defeat came only because he faced not one warrior, but 12 working as one. There is no shame in falling to superior numbers and tactics. The communication channel was quiet for several minutes. Then the Krextar commander spoke again, his voice less hostile. You acknowledge Verthik's honor? We acknowledge that he was a mighty warrior who fought bravely, Chen replied. We would be honored to return his body to your people with full ceremony. Another long pause. This is acceptable. But what of our lost honor? Honor is not lost, Chen said. It is earned. Join our alliance and help us protect the weak. Fight alongside us for justice instead of conquest. Show the galaxy that Krextar's strength serves a noble purpose. The queen watched this exchange with amazement. You are offering them partnership after they threaten to destroy you? I'm offering them a chance to be heroes instead of bullies. Chen said, hours passed, more ships arrived, more species sent representatives. The palace became a center of negotiations and planning. The humans worked tirelessly, helping former enemies find common ground. Finally, as the day ended, the queen spoke privately with Chen. I understand now why you are so dangerous. Because we fight well. No, the queen said. Because you make others want to be better than they are. You show them possibilities they never imagined. You turn enemies into allies, slaves into partners. Chen nodded. That's what civilization is, Your Majesty. Not conquest or control. It's cooperation. It's choosing to help each other instead of hurting each other. And what happens to me? Chen looked at the former queen. This alien ruler who had learned to late what humans were truly capable of. That's up to you. You can spend the rest of your life trying to rebuild what you destroyed, or you can help us build something better. The queen stared out at the stars, where dozens of ships now floated peacefully together. Species that had been enemies for centuries were working side by side, all because a small group of humans had refused to give up hope. You should have asked nicely the first time, Chen had told her. Now the queen understood what that really meant. Humans were not just warriors. They were builders of peace. And that made them the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Not because they could destroy their enemies, but because they could turn them into friends.